Hello. I watched the acceptance speech of Winsome Sears, who is the new Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. Oh, no, that's Lieutenant Governor, isn't it? And when she made her speech about the opportunities available in the USA, she came across as well-spoken, articulate, thoughtful, and patriotic. Her speech was, well, it was patriotic without being jingoistic. It was determined without being belligerent. And she was talking about education, proper education, and the sort of self-respect that comes from being properly educated. I just want to point out here that even when she was growing up in the USA, her father sent her back to school in Jamaica because he reckoned that the education was better there. That does say something, doesn't it? And that was years ago. I was very impressed by Ms. Sears. She seems like a genuinely nice person. I could be wrong, but that's how it seemed to me. Then I ran into a difficulty. You see, I wanted to say that she seemed like a real lady. And then I stopped. I wanted to tweet that, you see, and I realised that it might look like I was using the word lady in the sense of woman. And that's, I was worried that it might appear that I wasn't talking about her refinement, but about her gender identity. I realised that to some people, saying I thought she was a real lady would mean that I was showing my approval of the fact that she is a biological female. And they might think I was having a stab at some people who are not biological females. For instance, saying Miss Sears was a real lady might be taken as my attempt to contrast her with the 4-star admiral called Rachel Levine, a person who, shortly after being born, was called Richard. You know, that sounds bad. It's not meant to be. It's just the language is sort of shifting about now. Actually, now I come to think of it, there's a sort of irony in the name his parents gave him, and I'm talking about him because he was a boy when they gave him that name, since it's a name, well, Richard is a name that used quite commonly to be shortened to the nickname Dick. But I'm not going any further with that. But back to Winsome Sears, a lady, and I mean a lady rather than a lady. Well, it started to get awkward, and I spent some time wondering how I was going to say this. In the end, I settled for the idea of saying a proper lady, but even that's subject to misinterpretation. And it was at that point that I realised that the trans lobby, or rather the more vocal and nuttier end of the trans lobby, have already stolen from me part of my language. In the UK, at any rate, we call a well-mannered, decent, polite woman a lady, not as a description of her sex or even of aristocratic rank. It could be either, but in this case, as a description of her character. A lady is someone who's gracious, courteous, and has dignity. In a way that, for instance, people like Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters and Claudia Webb do not. And yet all that is going because saying someone is a real lady now is subject to a secondary interpretation, as the ideas of sex and gender take over the concept of manners and humanity. And what we're doing is reducing people to things with a sex identity. And we're reducing human beings to things with a skin identity. We are turning all about us into crude generalizations of the most basic, you could say the most animal characteristics with no subtlety. We're reducing our language to coarse and inaccurate generalizations. We're reducing our human interaction with deciding how much we're going to listen to others depending on their category rather than what's coming out of their head. Yeah, and my fears about this were confirmed when I saw this tweet, which happened to come in the same thread as my problem tweet talking about Ms. Sears. So I'll just finish off by playing you this. Let's see.
My name is Allison Wines. I'm a senior program manager in our developer tools division. I'm an Asian and white female with dark brown hair wearing a red sleeveless top.
And I'm Seth Juarez, program manager in the AI platform group. I'm a tall Hispanic male wearing a blue shirt, khaki pants. Today we kick off 2 days of learning more about the latest solutions, exploring how these key innovations can empower you to do great things, and connecting with peers from around the world.
Well, now we know what to think of them. We can decide how much we want to listen to them, can't we? Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.